I'm going to teach you something that helped me to get my playing from a very mechanical strumming style to a very organic, very fluid and buttery style. Playing with a pick has some advantages. You can get clarity, you can get a nice, clear expression of your notes versus playing with your fingers. The problem is, and what I've noticed with a lot of beginner students, is that their pick angle is perpendicular to the strings. So I'll give you an example. If I'm going to play in G, it sounds okay, but it's a little bit mechanical. And it's hard for me to get that the similar note value and dynamic per string. It's almost like the first few strings is hitting hard and then I'm kind of dying out. So you're not hearing enough of that. You're hearing too much of this. So one of the benefits of playing with a pick is that you can get the clarity, but the drawback is that you have a very plasticky kind of sound. And the way to get around that is with the pick angle. So what we're going to do, instead of being perpendicular to the strings, when we go down, we're going to angle our wrist a little bit so that end of the pick is pointing up toward us almost. So it's not pointing directly up to us, but it's pointing more toward us than to the ground. And that's going to be on the way down, right? So we're going to angle the pick. It's going to reduce the amount of picking action, and it's going to make it easier for the pick to glide over the strings, like this. You'll hear that's a lot more balanced. It's a lot smoother, and it feels great in my hands too when I strum down. Okay, on the way up, we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to angle the pick, we're going to rotate our wrist, and the point of the pick is going to point more to the ground. Okay, that's going to be more like this kind of situation. The way down is going to be more like that, and the way up is going to be more like that. Okay, now we're going to strum up using that angle where the point of the pick is pointing toward the ground. You can hear that's a lot smoother. And if I get it just right, it'll feel like the pick is actually vibrating, moving in my fingers, which gives that response that you're eventually going to get when you're playing the acoustic guitar a lot with this method. So the way down, again, point of the pick is more toward me, more toward more toward the sky, and then on the way up, the end point of the pick is more toward the ground. Let's go down and then up. You'll know you're doing it right when it feels easy. When it feels difficult, if you're like digging in, then you're doing it the wrong way. If you're going down and your pick is pointing to the ground, you won't even make it through the strings. So you'll know immediately if you're doing this the right way or the wrong way. Okay, you can hear that sounds a lot better, a lot cleaner. One thing that you'll also notice is when you start using this technique, your arm is going to move far less than it did before, and that means that you're going to get less tired over time. So when your pick is straight, you have to move your arm. Your arm has to travel a lot more, right? Here's an example. And you'll notice that my wrist is very just locked in, right? There's not much movement. Now, alternatively, by having the pick angle in place, you'll notice how little my forearm actually moves. It's more my wrist, right? In fact, it feels to me like my elbow is not even rotating at all. And that's what you want. You want to have very little movement from the elbow down. You want your wrist to be doing the motion, the movement, and that just helps a lot with reducing the amount of effort and work that you have to do to play the guitar. So I hope that this helped you. I'm going to play a few chords. Play along with me. We're going to do a G, C, D, E minor. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I hope that helped you. Definitely practice your angles with your pick. Try variations of it. Experiment a little bit, but get used to the feeling of that. The last thing I want to do is talk about the pressure of the grip on the pick. You don't want to clamp down on the pick. You want to be able to very easily pull the pick from your grip with the other hand. Very easily. I would say for me it feels almost like a 20% pressure on the pick. You want the pick to be able to be pulled out pretty easily, but you don't want the pick to just fall out, right? You want to be able to have it hang, but only just to where you can easily pull the pick from your grip. And that's the pressure that you want. There are going to be some variations of that pressure, like if you're doing more bluesy stuff and you're going, that's where you're going to have more of a tight grip. But for this exercise and for strumming, I really like to have a pretty relaxed 20%-ish, 25%. For you, it might feel like more, but that's about where you want to be, total grip strength on the pick. I hope this helped you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you want more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one.